The intention of today's video is to inspire anybody that's feeling stuck at their current job or role to consider looking deeper inside of themselves, to get even more still, to listen to the guidance they're receiving and start taking action on it. Because in just the last week, I decided to fully listen to the Holy Spirit, fully listen to my guidance, and quit my high paying tech job at Amazon. It was paying me $148,000 a year to trust God full time. And what does that mean? That means actually listening to the guidance that we're always receiving when we're willing to hear it. And in just the last week, in quitting, in giving up this paradigm that my safety, my security comes from a job outside of myself, miracles have started to appear that I never would have thought necessarily. And so I wanted to share these miracles with you who might be considering the situation, or maybe you've already taken that leap, to know how safe it is to take that leap of faith. And the first miracle of three that I want to share that showed up immediately for me, when you decide to take a leap of faith, you will immediately see all the areas of your life that you've been putting energy and attention to that basically allowed you to dissociate from the pain of doing what you do not want to do. I was working a job I did not like. That was painful on a very deep level. To deal with the pain, I would spend lots of money, expensive groceries, go to events or places that would basically allow me to feel good for a little bit. And it was all essentially a method, a strategy of my mind to dissociate and look away from the fact that I was doing something I hated every day. And the moment I quit the job, it was like, I don't have to do any of that anymore. I don't need to go do expensive grocery runs and drop hundreds of dollars at farmers market and go to this event and that event and hang out with this person and that person. I don't need to use cannabis to numb my pain, et cetera, et cetera. And with that, all of a sudden, this energy starts coming back that is reserved for creation that you can actually use to create with when you're done dissociating and wasting your time trying not to feel the pain that you're clearly in when you're doing what you don't want to do. That is a miracle at a young age or at any age to realize where and how you're dissociating from your life because you're doing something you don't want to do. To be able to see that, truly is a miracle. The second one, my relationship dynamics are changing immediately. Why? Because now that I am self sufficient, am not going to entertain connections or lack thereof, relationships rather, that are not actually meeting me at the level of awareness I want to be met in. It's not because I'm judging the other person, but it's because it's simply not ripe. And I'm not going to sit here eating unripe fruit when there's a basket of delicious, plump, juicy fruit that God has literally set aside for you in terms of relationships. Kind of a funny analogy, but that's what's coming through, right? If you are not in the frequency of supporting my dream, the way I'm supporting your dream, it simply won't work anymore. The dynamic, it will crumble, it will disappear, it'll fall to the wayside. And it happens so naturally. It's not something I have to think about. How do I tell this person that I'm following my dreams? I don't want to hang. No, no, no. It just immediately your frequency shifts, the connections evolve, they shift, and it falls away. And then that opens up so much room for the synchronicity of new relationships that are actually here to support your preference once you make the choice. It's a miracle. So many of us are stuck in relationships that are draining our energy, trying to please people so that we feel worthy. The moment we see our own worthiness and move from there, these relationships will immediately change. And it's gorgeous when they do. And it's stunning when you see the depth of just reality's brilliance in the way it serves you new connections. The moment you see yourself differently, it gets reflected right back. The third miracle, that was the second, your relationships changing, and that includes with family, all your relationships. The third miracle is dis-ease and chronic fatigue comes to an end. So many of us are tired. Corporate America runs on coffee, right? There is a reason coffee is the number one, I guess you can call it a drug, number one supplement substance that we crave, we fiend. In alchemy, caffeine is fire. And when you're doing something you don't want to do, you need fire. You need artificial fire to get moving in the direction, to do the thing that you don't want to do. And that leads us to burn. Not the coffee itself, the doing what we don't want to do. Coffee's fine. It's the believing that you need to be in this shitty situation to find your security. Your soul wants to go to sleep. Your body wants to dissociate. It literally would rather be asleep. And so you start to experience dis-ease, fatigue. Every single person I've ever met in corporate America, I mean, they have the health problems out the wazoo. You go into the kitchen, and I've worked at the biggest corporations, AT&T, Salesforce, Amazon. All there is processed sugar and stimulants, you know? That is the dissociation diet. That right there. I feel terrible. Give me sweets. Give me caffeine. Give me nicotine. Give me anything to not feel how brutal it is to do what I hate doing. The moment you leave that behind and choose yourself, your guidance, your highest excitement, your passion, you're not going to need that anymore. It's not to say you won't enjoy a cup of coffee. That's not my point. The point is you won't be doing it for the sake of bringing life to what is lifeless. You'll be doing it out of inspiration. And that has two dramatically different effects on the body because health is inner peace. And if you're not at peace with what you do, your body will reflect that through disease. I went through this with horrible chronic skin symptoms that really exacerbated right when I got hired at Amazon and started working. You wouldn't believe it. Who would have thought? It also coincided with relationships, right, that were out of alignment. So it's no wonder when we listen to our preference, when we listen to our guidance, when we go within, you're going to be healthier. You're going to be fitter. You're going to have more energy, vibrancy, creative life force energy. Relationships are going to change. The dynamics will evolve to meet you where you're at. No more pleasing to please someone else's narrative. You won't be dissociated, needing to get high, needing to numb, needing to go socialize with people that you'd prefer not to socialize with that are maybe equally as numb, to just live for the weekends, right? This falls to the wayside. And when it falls to the wayside, there is going to be so much clarity and intuition. The space opens up to actually walk in the direction, create in the direction you want to go. The resources will suddenly be evident, apparent. They'll come to you because the space exists. You're not covering your eyes, wondering why you can't make your dream happen. It's like, no, open them, see. Well, you have to be willing to listen to your preference, your guidance, and you have to know you're worthy of it. And only when you know you're worthy of it, when you know you're guided, can you take the leap of faith. And it is a